Jay, can you hear me now? How about now, you guys? Oh dear. Okay. 1 second. Yeah, we can hear me now. All right. Welcome back or welcome to The Hawk and I. My name is Lana Zelinsky and I work in the spirit dimensions. As always, in all my videos or my lives, simply take what resonates and you're welcome to leave the rest right here. It has been a glorious vacation for me, even though it was a staycation for me. I did some wonderful break time, some time for me, some time to relax, some time to channel. It's good to be back to the regular time scheduling. School went back this morning for the kids here, so it's been great. What's up this week? Let's get right into it. I do have in-person sessions today, so I have to be mindful of the time. We have a new moon coming in January 11th. We do have a new moon coming in, and this moon is bringing us a lot of excitement, a lot of creative energy, a lot of manifesting energy. Seemed very heightened when I was channeling the energy for the week. There is a big know what I want, know what I don't want feeling to the week, and perhaps you've been feeling that a little bit as we get back into your regular routines or as the weekend went ticking on by. This whole I know what I want, I know what I don't want, and really coming into alignment with that. Our intentions for manifesting this week are heightened for some reason. The new moon probably has a big part to do with that. But I also think that there has been a shift with many of us with clarity and with growth and with just this, yeah, let's go. I talked about in my last live with moving forward and moving into this space of it's time to grow. And with that does come a lot of learning. But I feel like there's been a shift coming in with the learning piece with it's okay. It's okay that I'm learning and it's okay that things are a little wobbly and it's okay that things are very solid. I felt this energy coming in with just a stronger pull of I know what I want and I know what I don't want. I want to talk a little bit about manifesting because it's very heightened for me when I sat with spirit today with this whole manifesting piece. So manifesting is a great tool. It's a great alignment piece, but we also have to kind of be very aware of what we're manifesting too, because our thoughts create things, right? So manifesting goes in either direction. I just want you to be very aware of where your thoughts are and what you're pulling in energetically, because this week has this big superpower. So if you want to do a little bit of writing, if you want to work on a vision board, if you just want to talk to yourself or talk to your spirit guides about what you want and what you don't want and where you're going with it. Um, there was also a big push with taking responsibility that came through at a almost like in a big microphone for me with taking responsibility of what you want and being able to come in alignment with that and being able to work with it and work towards it. And sometimes we keep up we want things and we kind of get I'll call it spiritual laziness where we don't kind of do the work in order to help things go along and to help things flow a little bit better. Taking responsibility for some of the healing, taking responsibility for the energy that you want to work in. That was really loud and clear when I was channeling. Was this whole I'm going to take responsibility now for the energy that I'm working in, for the energy, for the things that I want to achieve, for the goals that I'm setting. There was a big push with that. There was also a big, powerful energy that came in with power, a powerful power. There was a power that's kind of been, perhaps you feel your own personal power at a heightened awareness. Maybe you're stepping into your own personal power a little bit stronger, a little bit more grounded, a little bit with more certainty. But with this power can often come power struggles. So being mindful of that, what kind of power struggles are you having within yourself? So, for example, the whole worthiness. Are you struggling with truly feeling it? Are you struggling with truly stepping into that worthiness power or that personal power or that space? Being able to kind of like become a little bit more solid in that. The other thing with the power struggle a little bit is, and I just want you to remember that I said it, is sometimes we're shown what or who we need to step back from it for a moment or two. You may need to come back into I just need some quiet. I just need some downtime. I just need to step back or step out or honor that I really don't want to do that. the heightened awareness with that is going to be really loud this week. So if you're feeling something isn't serving you, acknowledge it and step back. If you're feeling you want more of something, step on into it. There's that power responsibility, that power energy that's going to be flowing very very fluid, very very rapid. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. What are you having your own personal power struggle, or are you having a power struggle with someone else? And just kind of feel it and pause for a moment. Do I need to step back? Do I need to rethink? Do I need to, reprogram? Do I need to reset? And don't be afraid to reset as often as you need. We don't need a new day or a new calendar year. I can hit that reset button anytime I want. I can reset anytime I want. And that's for you. You can reset anytime you want. Nope, not serving me. Tried it, don't like it. I'm not going to power struggle it and dance in it because it worked for somebody else or because I thought it might work. I really need to kind of flow into that this week. I really got to kind of nourish myself into this energy, into this space. The other thing that kind of was a bit of a reminder for me is I heard it very loud and clear. Spirit was very loud this morning. Was this whole slow and steady wins the race too, right? We don't necessarily have to be at this fast moving pace all the time when it comes to growth, when it comes to healing, when it comes to where we're at. Slow down if you need to, speed up if you need to, go with how you're feeling. The heightened awareness that's coming in for 2024, the clarity, the knowledge, the growth space, it can move at any pace that it needs to, and so can you. And spirit reminded me of that as well when I was doing my channeling for this morning. There's a big longevity coming in here. So if you're starting to feel a little bit stronger or a little bit more in your power or a little bit more in that space of, yeah, I think I got this. There's this longevity energy that's going to be trickling in. I'm probably going to be talking about that a little bit more in the next couple of weeks because I really felt this. I'm starting to feel really good energy for many of us collectively. I'm starting to feel really good with that. I'm starting to feel really good with that with myself. I'm starting to feel really good. That's going to be moving in as well. There we go. Okay, let's scroll up. I do have to be mindful of the time here. Let's scroll up and see what's going on. Bianca, I've been channeling more lately when I read with tarot cards, so much to the point where sometimes I don't really need them. Any messages from my spirit team about this? I love that question, and I do love tarot. And it's not unusual when working with tarot to connect a little bit more deeper with your own energy. Tarot is a great vehicle, and it's a great visual. But as we become more and more comfortable with tarot, we do start to tap into our own channeling abilities, and we all have them. Right? You know how I feel about that, you guys. We all have the ability to connect with spirit in many different ways, and it changes all the time, right? So don't ever get too set on this is how I'm working forever. It will change and grow as you change and grow, as your connection changes and grows. Every single reading that I do is always different how I'm working. I've learned to just simply allow how we're working. When I have a punch card, it's an invisible punch card. When I check into the spirit dimensions, when I plug in, I just simply allow how we working today. How are we going to work? And I just allow that. So Bianca, that's what you're feeling there is you're leaning into more and more of this. The more you trust, it will grow and shift again. There are some times where I feel like a completely brand new student. I show up for work and it's like, this is really new and I'm learning something different on how I'm working. Just go with it, Bianca. Just lean in with allowing and continue the growth with your spirit council and your spirit team. Continue with I'm showing up for work today. How am I working? It gets a little bit easier as you kind of lean in there even more and allow and allow. Cheyenne, yes, I know what I want. Exactly the specific things. Excellent. I always, Cheyenne, I just want to add a little bit to that. I also add, things for my highest good. If spirit wants me to try something for my highest good, I'm open to that too. I always work really hard on staying open. What do I need to learn? Where do I need to grow? This is what I want to do. Spirit guide me in the direction that I need to go in. Stay a little bit really fluid with that as well. I'm pretty sure I manifested the last guy I dated. He was into spirituality and taught me how to do affirmations. What were the odds? We are just friends now, but he Definitely manifest. I definitely manifested for sure. I love that. And people come to us in many different ways. And they come to teach us and bring us into, new directions, whether the relationship goes long term, short term, friendships at different levels. People come to us as teachers too. And we come to them as teachers. We come to teach people. They come to teach us. It's a glorious rendezvous that we have with people who we teach or they teach us, right? Everything I wanted spiritually in a person. I love it. And I told the universe I wanted a positive experience dating because the past ones weren't so great, and I got it. We met on my birthday last year too. Great experience and taught me the power of thoughts. Our thoughts are so powerful, and our thoughts create things. It's not a new concept, right? But also with our thoughts also guide us, and our thoughts also show us where perhaps we need to do some work too. And sometimes, our thoughts, we lean into, a thought, and just because we think it doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to unravel it that way. Our thoughts, we can kind of lean in there, and I'll be like, no, you know what? And I'll correct my thought. You know what? That's not really how I feel. It's a knee-jerk reaction. And I'll correct my thought. I'll say, no, you know what? I really don't want that today. I think I'm going to correct my thought. I'm going to rethink it, reword it, or sit with it is the other thing. I'm going to sit with how I'm feeling because how we're feeling needs to be validated and honored as well. Right? All right. I mentioned that 17 is my lucky number. Oh, I scrolled too fast there, Cheyenne. I'm sorry. Let me scroll back up. Len, I figured out something funny about our reading next week. I quickly realized that the date and time are riddled with all kinds of interesting numerology. I will show you next week. I'm looking forward to that. I mentioned that the 17 is my lucky number. Well, in almost every way, ends up with 17, not to mention 1 plus 7 is 8. I love that. Good to see you guys all coming in, by the way. Um, Diane Quinn, I've pulled to my crystals, but don't know much about it. Would love to learn. When you're pulled into something like that with learning, especially with crystals, there's a lot that you can do that to self teach yourself. I always say go with what crystal that you're pulled to and then look it up and then read about how to learn it or how to use it. Um, and don't overthink it is the other thing. But wherever you're pulled, allow yourself to spend some time learning there. There's a ton of free information that you can look up. I always say go to a crystal shop, go over to where you're pulled, and then look it up. Crystal energy is quite profound. I work quite a bit with crystals, and there are certain ones that really resonate with me, and there are certain ones that don't. And I just allow. I think sometimes for me too, it's the shape of the crystal that I'm really pulled to. So that's always a an interesting space for me is the shape that I'm pulled to. I feel this from my work situation, especially, says Tamers. Good, good. He sound. Let's see where we go. Sometimes I struggle with knowing my anxious doubt thoughts versus intuitive insight. That's a really good one. Sometimes our spidey senses can like I will, feel into something and I'll be like, that doesn't really feel very good. I will trust how I feel. The other thing is I will often sit with in it's an exercise I call mine or not mine. Is this my energy? Am I feeling anxious because of my own fears? I also try to pull apart a little bit why I'm feeling this way. Oh, I'm feeling a little anxious because it didn't work out last time, or I'm feeling a little anxious because I struggle with relationships, or I'm feeling a little anxious. I talk to it. So I talk myself through it. And when I talk myself through it, I usually get the answer of, this is a warning. I need to be aware, right? Or I'll get the answer of, this is an old fear of mine. This is an old program of mine. I try to feel in where it's coming from, if that makes sense to you. I hope that helps you there, Tamara. And that's a really good statement to make. I also try to not hold it in my physical body. So I'll write it out, I'll speak it out, I'll talk to the mirror, I'll try and work through it that way as well. And I will lean into, if I feel like something I need to be more grounded, I will lean into grounding myself a little bit so that I'm a little bit stronger to deal with what's coming. Because sometimes the lessons that are coming are difficult. Like let's be honest, it's not all fuzzy bunny and easy learning, is it? It can be a little bit rough. So, and that's the journey. The journey isn't always smooth sailing. It can be that bumpy, that gravel road, or that way up, way down kind of feeling. Um, Donna, I believe my husband's mom passed last year with a heart attack in order to save him from passing with the same. He got tested because of her death and was 95% blocked. Am I right? I feel that, like, there's a few things with that. Don't feel like 100% of her passing was for that. I feel like perhaps a part of that, or that passing kind of brought him onto the path of looking after his own as well. I don't feel that all of her passing was because of that. But I do feel that part of the passing taught him or brought him into that space of I'm gonna get myself checked out as well. Diane Quinn, the other night I was trying to meditate. Suddenly I heard a voice. Didn't understand what it said. I was wondering if it was a spirit guide. Absolutely. I just got goosebumps right throughout from head to toe. I felt that, that chicken skin goosebumps. Absolutely. Diane, I also think that this trust is being built here. I feel like trust is something that you're really working through, that you're really allowing, that you're starting to grow into. And I feel like spirit gave you, the sound of a voice to kind of build up that trust and build up that allowing. So good for you for leaning in there as well. Spirit has thrown around like crazy with angel numbers. I'm seeing so many double numbers and 17 2 all the time now. I love that, Cheyenne. There's a lot of, and Spirit is coming closer. I've talked about that before. There's a big growth and a big connection. And I think a lot of it is because so many people are leaning in there as well. So there's a lot of people stepping into, the spiritual energy, or I don't want to use spiritual, that spiritual connection. That's how I want to put it. And when we do that collectively, we do start to collectively see certain things or connect certain things as well. Angel numbers are great validation. I always acknowledge them, even if I don't necessarily understand what they're trying to tell me. But I always acknowledge them. Thanks for being here. Thanks for helping me. Thanks for supporting me. Um, my mom always told me before I moved out that it sounded like I had lots of people over in my room because I talk to myself. It's indeed for that reason, to not sit with it. It helps me to process. Absolutely, Cheyenne. And I think sometimes when we talk out loud, or even in our mind, I think it also helps us to just take our time and process it. And sometimes that's all we truly need to do, is to give ourselves some time to process it, to hear it. And I'm sure many of you will have had this moment where once you say it out loud, it kind of has a very different feeling. It's like, well, that's a little bit silly, and you kind of chuckle at yourself, right? Once you hear it, like once you give yourself that space. We are always growing forward, and we're always learning, and spirit's always trying to help us through that. But yeah, talking it out is I talk things out all the time. And I just sit there and I'll talk it out with my spirit guides all the time. We have time to do a collective spirit animal today. Absolutely. I try to do one every single live. So at the end of every single live, I try to do a collective one. Um, let's see where we are here. Cheyenne, I was wondering about the choice I've been given today. One option, I'm not sure what, one option, I'm not sure what if it could give to me. I do feel like I can't make a wrong choice, but not knowing what's going to happen is bothering me. So Cheyenne, that there's a couple words in there that I want to go after. I want to pick at, and in a very loving way. Not knowing what's going to happen is bothering me. We as humans always want to know, for the most part, the outcome before we make a decision, right? We always want to know, and there are even times in some of the intuitive guidance sessions, people will say, "I want to know what's going to happen," and quite often, spirit will give the answer. And quite often spirit won't, because there's the learning in that of the unknown, or the trusting of the journey. And I think sometimes I'm just, for me, I will lean in there with, I'm going to allow what needs to happen and what I need to learn from it to be. And because we always want to know. And we don't always have that answer because we need to go through the experience. I do agree with you here on Cheyenne that I don't feel like there's a wrong choice. I don't even see like a crossroad here. Like I don't see that. I also believe very firmly, and feel free to comment here on your thoughts on this. We're going to end up where we need to be. I truly believe that we are going to end up where we need to be. Sometimes we take the long way around, but we're still going to end up where we need to be. And sometimes we get the shortcut and end up where we need to be. But I do feel that we always end up where we need to be. And I do feel very strongly that the learning process in all that is meant to guide us and meant to teach us and meant to bring us into a different space. And sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves when we kind of lean in there, make a choice that didn't go great, but it's the learning that you have to lean into. It's not all, if things don't work out, it's not all lost. Right? It's you're going to end up where you need to be anyway. And the learning in between is where the growth is. And that's where the delicious stuff is. It's in the growth, it's in that process. Right. So, and coming back to that, Spirit just said, look back down on your paper. Coming back into taking the responsibility for the learning and the growth and the momentum, even when it doesn't go your way, right? Even if it's not meant to work out, it's not going to work out anyway. And that's a big thing too. If it's not meant to work out, you're going to feel it. You'll come into the roadblocks. Spirit will steer you into the right direction. You will tap into your own spidey senses, your own personal power. You will stand in there. And I think sometimes too, we're so afraid of making the wrong choice that we kind of shy away from the learning of the lessons, don't we? I don't want to make the wrong choice. I don't want to make the wrong choice. I don't want to make the wrong choice. When we kind of lean in there with this is how I feel, so there's got to be a reason for it, and even if it's to learn the lessons. Yay. All right. There's more ways to roam. All of what you say, I'm aware of. I'm honestly just having a bit of a tantrum about not knowing. Yeah, this the not knowing. Cheyenne, I get it. I get it. I get it. I get it. I think we all do. And I think we all have that tantrum of, I want to know. I want to know the outcome. 100%. And it's just the reminder and it's just the support and it's just the guidance, right? All right. I have to be very mindful of the times. I have to get to my office. Um, and it's Monday and traffic might not be the best. Let us lean in here. Put your intentions and your thoughts. What do we need to know collectively as a group? The llama. It's been a long haul, but you're just about there. So hang in there. Volunteer some of your time by being in service to someone or by working with a service type organization. Move slowly and steadily toward your goal and be assured that you're on solid footing. I love this. I just love this. Take time for yourself, which may require that you turn down requests from others for your time or assistance. Seek the company of others who share similar interests and activities rather than spending so much time alone. So here we go with what we just talked about, right? Again, the slow and steady wins the race. Move slowly and steadily towards your goal. It doesn't have to be fast and furious all the time. It can be slow and steady wins the race. I do hope you had a wonderful short little chat with me today. I can't remember what my Wednesday looks like, but let's take a look. Sorry about that. So I will be here Wednesday morning. How glorious is that? As always, I'm wishing you love, light, blessings, and of course, have a spirit guided day. Thumbs up, you guys. Much love.